In this program, we'll be discussing geoengineering, the name for a collection of new scientific plans to remove carbon from the atmosphere and stop global warming.
Also called climate repair, geoengineering is still in the experimental stages. Some technologies are controversial because they interfere with natural climate systems, and others may not even be possible.
One ingenious idea to cool the planet involves spraying diamond dust in the sky to deflect the sun's rays.
Amazing. But before we find out more, I have a question for you, Sam. Spraying diamond dust in the sky sounds futuristic, but in the 1960s there was a band who wrote a song called Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Which band? Was it A, the Rolling Stones, B, the Beach Boys, or C, the Beatles?
I think most people would say the answer is C, the Beatles.
Okay, we'll find out the answer later in the program. Now, throwing diamonds in the sky might sound crazy, but it's far from the wildest idea scientists have thought up to decarbonize the planet.
Oceans hold 16 times more carbon than the Earth's atmosphere and could hold even more if the fish and plankton living there had more available nutrients, food that animals and plants need to grow.
But how to provide these nutrients? Believe it or not, one answer involves, you guessed it, whale poo.
David King chairs the Centre for Climate Repair at Cambridge University. He explained how his unusual idea would work to BBC World Service programme Discovery.
Imagine now a pod of whales all coming up and pooing in the same area of the ocean. This could be in an eddy current, and it could lead to something like 10,000 to 20,000 square kilometers being covered in nutrients, including iron. And as we know from observations today, within 3 months, that region is chock-a-block with fish.
Whales live in groups called pods. They swim up to the ocean surface to poo, and this poo can be spread in an eddy, a large current of water moving in a circular motion, like a giant whirlpool.
As a result, huge areas of the ocean are covered in nutrients and become chock-a-block with fish, an informal way to say full of fish.
Another original idea being explored is rock weathering. Carbon is slowly locked into rocks and mountains over thousands of years by natural geological processes. This literally groundbreaking idea would speed up the process by locking carbon into rocks that have been dug up through industrial mining.
Listen as geochemist Professor Rachel James explains her idea to BBC World Service's Discovery.
For every ton of rock that's mined, only a very tiny proportion, a couple of grams of that is actually diamond. The rest of it is effectively waste. So mine waste material is potentially a really great source of material that could be repurposed for enhanced rock weathering. And I think that's really good because it creates a circular economy.
Mining for diamonds creates tons of waste rock, which could be used to capture carbon. Professor James wants to repurpose this rock to find a new use for it.
Not only would this lock more carbon, it also creates a circular economy, an economic model which involves sharing, reusing and recycling products for as long as possible to avoid waste and to reduce levels of carbon.
While these ideas might sound strange, they're all theoretically possible, and looking to science for positive solutions reminds some people of the early ecological movement which started in the 1960s and now, 50 years later, is being taken seriously.
Speaking of the 1960s, it's time to reveal the answer to my question, Sam.
Yes, you asked me which 60s band wrote the song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I said confidently C, the Beatles.
Which was, of course, the correct answer. John Lennon and Paul McCartney wrote the song in 1967, but I doubt even they could have predicted that it would inspire a scientific idea to save the planet.
Okay, let's recap the vocabulary from the program, starting with nutrients, food that plants and animals need to grow.
Whales and other sea mammals like dolphins live in a group called a pod.
An eddy is a large current of water moving in a circular motion.
Chock-a-block is an informal way to say full of something.
If you repurpose something, you find a new use for it, a use other than what was originally intended.
And finally, the planet's future might depend on the circular economy. an economic system which values sharing, reusing, and recycling over consumption and waste.
These incredible scientific innovations might mean that time is not yet up for planet Earth, but time is up for this program.
Join us again soon for more trending topics and related vocabulary here at 6 Minute English. Goodbye for now.
Bye.
6 Minute English from the BBC.
So, dear viewers, that was the BBC 6 Minutes English. And why it is important to listen to BBC English. Once again, as a matter of fact, it's the part of our listening skill, developing our understanding as well as listening skill. You might be aware, if you ever sit for the IELTS exam, and the listening part, the spoken part, is done by the RP accent speakers, and BBC English is one of the English language feature that is from the United Kingdom, which provide the similar RP accent explanation, RP accent dictations or dictions, whatever you say. Remember that the more we listen, the more you understand, and we will be able to develop our listening as well as our speaking. It is an important matter for us, being a non-native speaker, to pronounce the words correctly, which is why very often when I've got time, I just play this BBC English, which is really amazing. Okay, and today we are going to discuss most probably adjective and adverb in grammar. Okay, so very often many of our learners ask this question: teacher, what are the basic grammar? Remember that these are the basic grammar that we need to study well. But if you study in tense, tense is related to other grammar parts like capitalization, punctuation, syllable, number, person, parts of speech, voice. Indirectly, the tense is related to voice and narration. So if you study 12 tenses of English grammar, which will help you understand, develop the grammar knowledge, as well as how you can be better writer in academic or maybe in a professional sector, we have to remember that it is important for you to practice it. Now, the biggest and challenging question is that when you've written something, how do you know whether you're correct or not? Because many times my students come to my live stream and always ask, teacher, I don't know whether my grammar is correct or not, whether my excuse me, written English is correct or not. How can I check it? How do I check it? What are the parameters? In that case, I always ask them, if you are good at grammar, definitely you're going to understand whether it's correct or not. But if you're not, if you don't think that you don't have that capabilities to detect or find out your own mistakes, in that case, I suggest you better subscribe to a competent and qualified teacher who can help you explaining all this, information, who can help you developing your grammar knowledge, and who can show you why this is correct and why this isn't correct. Okay, both of them. When you know the reasons, obviously you're going to learn the corrected form of the grammar, which is why very often we say that we learn from our mistakes. Only in that case when our mistakes are corrected by competent and qualified teacher. Okay, but if you keep making mistakes again and again, but you don't know which one is the correct form, there is no way you can develop and learn from the mistakes. So guys, remember that make mistakes, but learn from it as long as it has been corrected. And that is a very common phenomena. Being a human, we always make mistakes. It's not only you as a non-native speakers, even the native speakers make mistakes very often, and when they don't follow the grammar. But as you might be aware, grammar is just a part of a language learning, and natives do not have to follow the grammar, honestly, guys. I've seen in many instances, many situations where my colleagues, where my fellow, white colleagues, I've got some colleagues from Scotland as well, and Ireland as well, and some Aussies, the Australians as well. They do make mistakes as well sometimes. But it doesn't matter as long as your message, your conversation is unique and people can understand the concept or the theme. Okay, so let's move on, guys. So that's the basic grammar, as I said. Capitalizations, once again, punctuation, syllable, number, person, parts of speech, tense, voice, narration. So today I think that maybe we can compare adjectives and adverb. Okay, and honestly speaking, guys, adjective and adverb both are parts of speech. And I'm sure you know what is parts of speech. Basically, parts of speech is any part of a speech, like any part of a sentence. And in order to understand parts of speech, we should understand other terms of the parts of speech, especially nouns or pronouns or a verb. Okay, these three things are important to understand before we move on adjective and adverb. So I'm sure you know that the noun is the name of a person, place, thing, or subject, or any name you call noun. And pronoun is that word that's used in place of noun. You can see pronoun. So in pronoun, there is a noun, which means this word has been replaced by the noun. So remember that these are some of the clues through which you'll be able to understand. Okay. So it is an important matter for you now to go through different clarifications of the parts of speech once again. So what are the parts of speech, guys? Once again, noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. So today our discussion topic is adjective and adverb. So what is an adjective basically? Let's check to see if there is any descriptive word and right before the noun. If there is, then it's adjective. So adjectives basically are the descriptive words, and it is generally comes before the noun. Okay, so articles are also adjectives, and sometimes these articles are also called determiners. Give me a moment, guys. I need to watch the lesson from my mobile, because if my students come, I need to invite the students. Okay, so articles are adjectives, and sometimes they are also called determiners. Articles also called determiners. So determiners are adjectives too. Look at this sentence. Carla, big tired, went to bed early last night. Okay, so here the word tired has explained the situation, the description of Carla. So when Carla became tired, she went to bed last night. And here, so definitely tired is an adjective. Okay, and there are some prefixes which adjective takes. We need to understand what are prefixes. Guys, remember that prefixes are those words which come at the end of the word, and if these prefixes are there, you'll be able to understand they are adjectives. like able, able, capable, manageable, doable, detectable, perceivable. I've just given one examples. Maybe you can find more. Then FUL, full, careful, careful or careful. That's a great question now. Okay.
Okay.
Is this A is yes sound, not A. Okay, so careful, careful, be careful,
Careful.
careful. Okay. So careful. Then what are the other words of adjective that's got full at the end? Careful. I'm trying to remember. Careful. Respectful. Okay, let's find out some more words. Yes, powerful, doubtful, colorful. Let me write it, guys, otherwise it will be difficult for you. So capable, first one, then manageable. We often use this word doable. It's a doable work, remember. So, and also this word often, often, and often. In British English, we said often, often both, and even in BBC English, there's often, especially our Queen Elizabeth. In her speech, always says often. Often our people are aware their professionalism to save the country. Okay, but in Australia and American English, sometimes they use it these terms. In New Zealand as well, oftentimes. Okay, remember that they also use these words like this. Oftentimes. Oftentimes, I watch football by attending in a live football match in the stadium. Okay, this is one of them. Okay, so careful, as I said, powerful, grateful, colorful, doubtful, powerful. These are adjectives. And next one is ISH, like bookish, peckish. Then like British. Okay. Turkish, for example. Then what are the other ISH? I'm trying to remember. British, Turkish, peckish. Okay. Bookish, stylish. Stylish is another adjective. And then SOM is some. If you find this word some at the end of the word, that word is also adjective. Like irksome. Is it irksome? IRK? Let us listen to this sound. It's a bit difficult for me sometimes.
Irksome.
It is not A, guys. It is R sound, remember. Which is why we oftentimes tell English language is a crazy language. This word is irksome. R, not, though it starts with I, but it is not E, yeah? Irksome.
Irksome.
So it is annoying. Let me show you from the Cambridge Dictionary that will make you clear about this word. So listen to it carefully. British IPA.
Irksome.
Irksome. R is silent and there is R, long R. Irksome. And American IPA.
Irksome.
Irksome. That is R. Remember that this is one of the important difference between the British IPA and American IPA, letter R. So, which is why British English is called non-rhotic and American English is called rhotic. Very often I explain this rhotic and non-rhotic, guys. You need to be careful about using R sound accurately in both of the languages. If you're after the British IPA or British accent, remember that in most of the cases, R is not pronounced unless the R is at the beginning of the word or in between of two vowel sounds. Say this is an example. It's an adjective. Irksome.
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 American is
Irksome.
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 Annoying. Okay, it is an irksome matter that every morning I have to talk to some of my crazy colleagues, for example. Okay, so let's move on to the main adjective. Irksome. Is there any more word that has got some at the end? Let me try to find out some more words. Irksome. So, irksome. Yes, handsome. Another one. That's very common. Eh? Handsome. Handsome. Handsome.
Handsome.
And also remember, guys, in handsome, the D is silent. We do not pronounce D. Though many times I see people are pronouncing D like handsome. No, D is not there, guys. Remember that it's very a common error or mistakes of our phonetics. There is no D sound in handsome. Okay, so let me show you. Possibly you may not believe me, but let me show you through the IPA. Handsome. If you can read the phonic symbols, look. Handsome.
Handsome.
There is no D here. Handsome is an adjective, like you can get handsome salary. Okay. That person's handsome, definitely. Who is handsome for the boys and beautiful for girls? Look at the other synonyms of handsome: beautiful, attractive, good looking, then pretty, gorgeous. See some more results. Stunning. Okay, striking, breathtaking, lovely. Okay. All right. So remember that in handsome, there is no D sound. This is handsome. Okay, so let's move on. Next one is, let me find it. What's the next one? OUS, dangerous. This is very common adjectives we see very often. Dangerous, then treacherous. Dangerous, treacherous. What are the other words, guys? Miscellaneous, superstitious, miscellaneous. Next one is al. So miscellaneous, miscellaneous, fictitious. Is it fictitious or fictitious? I'm confused as well. It's better to check, sir. Fictitious.
Fictitious.
Fictitious. So it is fictitious. Fictitious. So what does fictitious means, guys? It's like imaginative. Adjective. Remember, like he dismissed recent rumors about his private life as fictitious. Characters in this movie are totally fictitious. In very often you can see in any movies they say at the beginning, disclaimer, this movie is a fiction. Characters of these movies are entirely fictitious, not true or pretended, sometimes, or imaginative. Okay, so next word is IL, like logical. So clinical. Okay. If your word has al at the end, that is also an adjective, logical, like clinical. Let me find out. If there are many words or not. Approval, another one, very common. Dismissal. Then suicidal. Suicidal. Suicidal.
Suicidal.
Suicidal. Suicidal. So suicidal. Okay. So then icy, like manic. Common is panic. Then there is demonic, yeah. Demonic.
Demonic.
Actually, it is not demonic. Is the E is sound I. Demonic.
Demonic.
Demonic. So is panic, manic, demonic. Then IVE, like inventive. Then preventive. Okay, like incentive. But is incentive is an adjective? I'm a bit confused. It could be noun as well. But we are talking about adjective today. It's noun. It can be also used as an adjective, looks like to me. Okay. So next one is LESS, less, like fearless. That's very common. Careless. Then powerless. Okay. Fearless, careless, powerless. Then ING. Remember, ING is a gerund form. ING is with the verb. Interesting, amazing, good looking. Interesting, amazing, fascinating. So we use ing with the verb to make it an adjective. Remember that. So it is one of the common ways to make it adjective by adding ing after the verb. So fascinating, interesting, yeah, not interesting, interesting, amazing, good looking. And let me see if there is more. Yeah, there are lots. Fascinating. Okay, hallucinating. Hallucinating. Okay, guys. So let's move on. So compound adjectives. Very often you will find some words that are placed together and that also work as an adjective. We call them compound adjectives, like old-fashioned dress, sun-dried tomatoes, good-looking person, or girl, you can say. And in order to find out whether a word is adjective or adverb, we need to ask these questions. What kind? Which one? How many or much? Okay, these are some common questions you can ask when you want to find out whether the word is an adjective or adverb. Like an example is that the dinosaur has sharp teeth. Which has got sharp teeth? And which kind of teeth? Sharp teeth. So sharp is an adjective here. One of her friends is extremely supportive. So what kind of person one of her friends? Supportive. So supportive is an adjective. There are 20 schools in our town. How many schools are there? 20. So 20 is an adjective. Remember that these are some questions you can always ask to find out whether it's adjective or not. Once again, what kind, which one, how many, or much. Okay. And also adjectives are those words that always describes, modifies, or qualifies the nouns and pronouns about the quality, quantity, and also how they get modified in different situations. Okay, so these are some common words. Now, very often we get this question: is it okay to use too many adjectives in a sentence? Yes, we can, but it needs to be an order, and that is in specific order, guys. Okay, we're going to show it, though I explained it on the other lesson last week. We're going to explain it again briefly. Like, we went to the old, big, dark, cold, scary, empty, rotten house. Look at how many adjectives are there. We went to the old, big, dark, cold, scary, empty, rotten house. Okay, this is an example. Sometimes we compare things with adjectives. In that case, excuse me, we call these adjectives degrees, like positive degree, comparative, and superlative degree. And I'm sure you know that, like good, better, best. And then bad, worse, worst. Okay, like sometimes we use then when it is more than one syllable. When you compare, like, silk is softer than cotton. Silk is softer than cotton, for example. The next one is the adjectives that we use for comparisons are called comparatives. Yeah, if it is 2, superlative. If it is 3, yeah, if it is only 1, we call it positive. Then if it is positive, I forgot to write positive. Let me write it positive. If it is 1, if it is 2, we call it comparative. We are comparing. If it is 3, we call them superlative. Similarly, cost, costlier, costliest. Sweet, sweeter, sweetest. All right. So these are the basic description and identification techniques to find out whether a word is an adjective or not. Another greatest rule about the adjective is that which I haven't written. Yeah. Adjective is always followed by a verb. And that is really an important rule. So what it means that when you're trying to use adjective in a word, before the adjective there must be a verb. Okay, so basically verb, then adjective. Okay, so sometimes we say that, okay, it's like adjectives like our children, and we don't let our children go outside. It should be guided, supervised. Similarly, guided by the verb or supervised by the verb. Okay, so remember that we have to understand that we can't use adjectives without using the proper verb. Okay, it could be any kind of verb: to be verb, have verb, like am, is, are, was, were, shall be, will be, been, get, feel. Okay, I'm going to give you some examples. Like, I become happy. Look, become is a verb. When I see that I'm really doing well. I become happy when I see my learners are really progressing in a very good space. I become amazed. Look, amazed is an adjective here. Okay, or they feel happy. Look, feel is another one. Feel, become, get. We use very often as a verb to, make it the adjective in a proper sentence. Remember that it is not always the to be verb or any other verb. We can also use like make, get, feel. Okay. So let's move on. Adverb. Okay, in shortened form in dictionary, it's written ADV, and for adjectives they write ADZ. So what is adverb? Look at that word. In adverb, there is a word called verb. What does it mean? It means adverb is always related to the verb. So which means that adverbs is a word that describes a verb most of the times, or an adjective, or another adverb, or in a sentence that is often used to show time, manner, place, or degree. We'll come these words one by one, guys. So adverb is a word that explains or describes about a verb, number one, rule number two, and maybe an adjective, or maybe another adverb, or maybe another sentence where it shows the time, manner, place, or degree. Okay. Adverb may be before or after a verb. Remember, this is very important for us to know when we can use adverb. It could be before a verb or it could be after a verb. It depends on the sentence pattern and context. Look at the sentence here. He quickly ran away. Here, how did he run away? How did he run away? Not ran away. How did he run away? Quickly. So quickly is the word that is describing his running. So quickly is an adverb. And you can notice that that adverb has been used before verb run. Ran is the past tense. But here quick is an adjective, look. And most of the times we create adverbs by adding ly at the end. So quickly. Why we are saying most of the cases? Because there are many words work both as adverb and adjective, and there are many words that do not have ly but they're still adjectives. Still adverbs. We're going to give the example later. So once again, most of the cases we use ly at the end of adjective to make it adverb. Okay, and in many cases, even there is ly, they are not adverb. They may work as an adjective. We'll come there later as with examples. And also, and some words, they do not have ly, but they work as both adjective and adverbs. We'll come as you go through my explanation. Okay, however, there is one type of verb that doesn't mix well with adverbs. Like we'll find it, what is that? And adverb has the greatest rule. We do not use any preposition before adverb. Okay, linking verbs. Yes. So linking verb never mix with adverbs. So what are linking verbs? Like feel, smell, sound, seem, and appear. These verbs usually and typically takes adjectives, not adverbs. Remember that. Linking verbs like feel, smell, sound, seem, appear. Okay, a very common example of this type of mix-up is, look, I feel badly about what happened yesterday. That is a totally incorrect sentence. I feel bad about what happened yesterday. Okay, this is one of the examples. Okay, I feel similarly. Joanna. I'm just giving. So this is another incorrect sentence, guys. Okay, Joanna felt sadly. No, we don't use sadly in this situation because it's a linking verb. So it should be Joanna felt sad when she heard the news. Okay, guys, so it is important for us to understand the concept of a word So that's the correct form. Okay, now placement of adverbs. Place adverbs as close as possible to the words they are supposed to modify. Putting the adverb in the wrong spot can produce an awkward sentence at best and completely change the meaning at worst. Be specific, spatial, careful about the word only. Okay, remember that if you ever use the word only, which is an adverb, most of the times we misplaced it. Look at these three sentences. Philip only fed the cat. Philip fed only the cat. Only Philip fed the cat. Look at these three sentences. Philip only fed the cat. Sentence number 1. Philip fed only the cat. And the last one is only Philip fed the cat. What it means? The first sentence means that all Philip did feed the cat. He didn't pet the cat or pick up for anything else. Okay. Second sentence is Philip fed only the cat. So there may be other animals. Philip only fed the cat. Only one animal. And the last sentence is only Philip fed the cat. That means there are other people, but no one fed the cat except Philip. So this is how, this word adverb only has an impact. So you have to be careful what you mean to say. Okay. So when an adverb is modifying a verb phrase, the most natural place of the adverb is usually the middle of the phrase. Say, we are quickly approaching the deadline. Philip has always loved singing. I will happily assist you. These are some of the examples, guys. Once again, we are quickly approaching the deadline. Philip has always loved singing. I will happily assist you. We use prepositions before noun and pronouns. Remember, this is another greatest rule about using preposition. We do not use preposition before adverb, but we use before nouns and pronouns, which is why very often we make this common mistake. I'm going to home. I hear it every day. In many places, people will say, hey, I'm going to home. No. Remember that home is an adverb. Adverb of place, it is not a noun. So do not ever use preposition to before home. Similarly, I'm going there. Now, I'm not going to there. I'm coming here. I'm not coming to here. So here, there, home, these are adverbs. Okay, these are not nouns. You've got to be careful. So home, look at some examples. Here, there, downstairs, upstairs, abroad. We do not use any kind of preposition at all. Okay. So these are some of the examples. Now there is a chart that has compared both adjectives and adverbs. So what is adjective? Words that are used to describe or modify nouns or pronouns. Adverb is a word that describes a verb, an adjective, another adverb, or a sentence that is often used to show time, manner, place, or degree. Adjective describes quality, quantity, what kind, which. Whereas adverb says how, when, where. Okay, examples like quick, happy, swift, said. We use ly most of the case, like quickly, happily, swiftly, sadly, etc. Exceptions: fast, not fast, fast, free, high, late, good, etc. These words can be used both adjectives and adverbs depending on the context of the sentence. Remember that I explained earlier that it is important for us to know how words can be used correctly. So these words are those kind of words where you have to have good understanding how it can be used in both adjectives and adverbs. Okay, and often almost back, these are also adverbs. Look, if you remember, I said there is ly at the end, but those words can also use like an adjective, like ghastly, timely, leisurely, melancholy, early, likely, elderly. Okay, so I can give some more examples after this, guys. Don't leave the live stream. However, we have got 9 more minutes, and look at this example. I'm happy but careless. I work happily and carelessly. You see, we have used ally in both of the cases. Now, look at this example. Fast, free, high, late, good, etc. He is a fast learner. Here, fast is an adverb, guys, okay? It is explaining about his learning process. He's fast. That explains an adjective forms. Timely, it is a timely lesson. Okay? And timely can be used an adjective and adverb. Okay, let me find out another example. A timely reminder that you should be on time in class. Yeah, timely is an adjective. It cannot be used as adverb, guys. Remember that. Oh, yeah. It should be after that, honestly. Okay, so he's a fast learner. He's a fast learner. He's fast. I drive my car first. And oftentimes, many learners come and they say, fastly. Guys, do not use from today, after today, do not use this word anymore. There is no such a word called fastly. Okay, I drive my car fast. He's a fast learner. He's fast. Okay. Timely is an adjective, though it has got ly. It's a timely lesson. It's a timely reminder that you should come to class on time. Okay. Other common mistakes. I am going to home. That's incorrect. Because home is an adverb, we do not use preposition. So I'm going home simply. He's going to abroad. No, that is another mistake. He's going abroad. And another common mistakes. He speaks good English. Guys, remember, good is an adjective, not an adverb. He speaks well. He speaks English well. Okay. Remember that it is very much important for us to use this sentence correctly, at least. Good, always remember, good is an adjective, well is an adverb. So you better be careful to use it. Okay. So he speaks good English. No, it is incorrect. He speaks English well. Okay. We don't say he speaks English good. You can say his English is good. That's fine, because here good would be an adjective, and you see there is a verb before it. Let me write it for you. His English is good. He's good. That's possible because good is adjective and there's a verb before it. Remember that? An adjective cannot go without taking a verb with it. It's always supervised or guarded by a verb, and that is a universal rule. Okay, so let's move on a little bit. Jane is a good worker. Jenny works well. Life is not a careless whisper where anyone can be successful without hard work. Okay, that's just another example. And I've also seen people are using these two words incorrectly. Oftenly. No, there is no such word. Firstly, there is no such word, guys. Often or often or often or fast. Okay. Similarly, constant, adjective, constantly, adverb. Okay. If you remember, I said to you that when there is more than one adjective in a sentence, we follow this rule to use it correctly, which is called osascamp. So what does osascamp stand for? Quantity at the beginning, then opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, purpose. Look at this one example. Linda has white long sleeveless wedding dress. Linda has a long white sleeveless wedding dress. Linda has a white sleeveless long wedding dress. Linda has a long sleeveless white wedding dress. Which one is correct, guys? You see, if you know this rule, definitely you'll be able to understand how it works. Remember to follow the rules once again. OSASCAM stands for opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, purpose. And if there's a quantity or number or article, it should come before opinion. Okay, number or article, I should write like this. So that's a test for you guys, and I'm going to make a public live stream after 5 minutes. Don't leave the live stream, guys. Okay, so I've got 1 minute 31 seconds. So guys, once again, thanks for joining. We are almost end of the lesson. Remember that whatever you learn from any live stream, it could be teacher, it could be student. Don't think that only teachers can teach you. Students can teach you too. I've seen many amazing students on this app who are really great in grammar, great in speaking, great in the knowledge of English language. You can learn a lot of things from them. So always try to utilize your time to learn something which may be helpful for your professional development, or maybe academic development, or maybe your development of communication skill or speaking. Remember that it's never too late to learn and practice and develop. Be positive, focus on your learning, and I'm sure that you'll be able to learn a lot of things. Okay, so best of luck for your learning, guys. Once again, thank you very much for joining, and this lesson is going to be finished in less than 15 seconds. I will see you in 5 minutes time with a short public live stream. You can join and comment. Thank you very much, guys. You guys are awesome. You take care and bye.